You know, there was definitely a time where Bungie was tossing exotic hand cannons at us like Oprah. And the last exotic hand cannon that we got was Hawkmoon. And that was all the way back in Beyond Light. That was nearly 5 years ago. 5 years, Bungie. Come on now. Finally, there's a new contender stepping into the exotic hand cannon ring, the Graviton Spike. And this thing, oh, it's got some serious heat. We're talking hybrid arc and stasis firing modes. Yeah, you heard that right. Wild intrinsic perks and some game-changing catalysts that push this weapon into must-have territory. If you're a hand cannon enjoyer, you're definitely gonna want to snag this one. I made a video going over all of the Graviton Spike quest steps, so go watch that video on how to get the weapon first, then come back to this video. TLDR, you just gotta run through the new campaign, any difficulty, grab the quest, and complete it. That is it. I went ahead and did it on Legend on my Warlock because, you know, get the worst class out of the way first, but don't worry, you can totally grab it running it on Brave too. No need to stress yourself out, especially for you new players out there. Now, full disclosure here, there is one thing about this hand cannon that I'm not totally vibing with, but I'll get into that later on in this video. So hey, if you end up liking this video and you want to see more Destiny 2 content like it, weapon reviews, builds, breakdowns, maybe a sprinkle of chaos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Smack the like button too, so YouTube actually shows you my stuff instead of random cat videos, or I mean, both cats and Graviton Spike. It's a win-win here. Now that we got that out of the way though, let's dive into what makes Graviton Spike such a banger of a hand cannon. Alrighty, let's kick things off in the stats department because numbers don't lie. Unless it's crucible damage, then it's all just a fever dream anyway. The only weapon in the game I can even remotely compare Graviton Spike to is Sunshot. That's it, that's the list. Which means we officially have a grand total of 2 150 RPM hand cannons in Destiny 2, just Sunshot and Graviton Spike. Bungie said, nah, you get 2, make it work. So here's where the Graviton Spike stands stat-wise. We've got 80 impact, 40 range, 55 stability, 60 handling, 50 reload speed, 57 ammo generation with a 95 recoil direction, basically a straight vertical beam, no matter which mode you're in, magazine size, 13 in both arc and stasis modes. Now, just for comparison's sake, let's take a look at Sunshot's base stats here. 80 impact, 41 range, 45 stability, 91 handling. And it's crazy because I was in a Discord call with the boys last night and I did not know that Sunshot had 91 handling, but it makes perfect sense. It's insane. 72 reload speed, ammo generation sits at 53, so a little bit less than Graviton Spike, with a recoil direction of 100, which is absolutely goated. Mag size is 12, so just one less than Graviton Spike, no biggie here. And just so we're all on the same page, we haven't even touched the Sunshot Catalyst yet. The thing throws its stats into orbit, plus 20 stability, plus 30 range. Like, bro, how is this thing even legal? If we're just going by numbers and catalyst, yeah, Sunshot's winning. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Graviton Spike does have a few tricks that make it an absolute beast in PvE. This thing brings more than just stats to the party. It brings utility. It's got a lot of flexibility and some spicy new mechanics that Sunshot just simply cannot hang with. Let's talk about what makes it actually worth your time, which is going to be the exotic catalyst here. Graviton Spike has a pretty solid intrinsic trait, which is temporal manipulation. Swap between fast firing arc mode or slow firing stasis mode, which the slow fire is more of like a 120-ish, maybe. We don't have an exact number, but it's around there. It's around there. Final blows and precision hits overcharge the opposing mode to enable additional effects. The icing on the cake here though is the exotic perk Temporal Anomaly. This perk states, while overcharged, each mode expends a portion of overcharge for additional effects or final blows or precision hits. Arc mode calls down lightning strikes. Stasis mode creates an explosion and a formation of stasis crystals, which also do shatter damage. The upgrades are actually super easy to unlock as well. All you gotta do is load in a Kepler on legend difficulty or higher. Make sure you have Graviton Spike equipped, then just follow the path I'm taking on screen right now. Once you knock that out, you'll get some pretty juicy stat bumps from the intrinsic perks. Once you have them unlocked, you get plus 10 range, plus 10 reload speed, as well as plus 5 stability. It might not sound like a lot on paper, but trust me, it makes this thing feel pretty crispy. The exotic catalyst, that's where Graviton Spike really starts to cook. So here's what's on the menu. We've got rapid hit, classic, fast precision hits equals faster reloads and better stability. Always a solid choice. Subsistence, which is my personal favorite, getting ammo back on kills with a hand cannon that feels this good. Yes, please. Transcendent Zen Refit. Now this one is wild. Final blows give you bonus stats based on your damage type alignment. In arc mode, you're gonna get some stability and handling. In stasis mode, you'll get some range and aim assist, but when you're transcendent, you're getting both. Arc Titans, Arc Prismatic Titans, Hunters, y'all are about to pop off with this thing, point blank period. Now I already know someone's typing in the comments as I'm recording this, it's just a stat bump, bro. Have you fired this thing with it all stacked together? Intrinsics, the catalyst, your barrel perk, accurized rounds, you're flirting with max range here. It's buttery smooth, and on top of all of that, this weapon can fill both the light and dark transcendence meter, making it even easier to proc this perk and get your transcendence energy back. And finally, we've got the temporal alignment refit. This one lets you overcharge both arc and stasis modes for a chunk of bonus damage. We don't have exact numbers on how much damage it gives you, but spoiler alert, it's not just a tiny buff. You definitely feel the difference. It hits, trust me. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes here, the damage numbers. This is the part where the gun either earns its stripes or gets tossed in the vault. Let's be honest, this is probably the most important part of the video. So as of the time I'm recording this, the firing range is being a little bit weird, thanks Bungie. So I'm just using the Vanguard dummies for testing here. Not perfect, but hey, it's getting the job done. In arc mode, the body shot is gonna do 148 damage per shot with a DPS of 425, bringing the total one mag damage to 1,184. Honestly, not bad at all. It's pretty solid output for a primary weapon, especially like a hand cannon. I think this is doing pretty decent numbers. And if we're hitting crits, it's 273 damage per shot with a total damage one mag output of 3,276 with a DPS of 744. Yeah, that's more like it. Just aim at the head with this hand cannon in arc mode and it will definitely put in the work. Now stasis mode, things are gonna get a little bit spicy here. With stasis, you're getting a bonus shatter damage stacked on top of the regular impact damage. So here's what we're looking at. The impact damage per body shot is gonna be 194 with an additional 146 shatter damage just for landing the shot. The one mag damage, 7,476 with a DPS 209. That's because of the slower fire rate. It does fire a lot slower. Like I said, it's more in that like 120 range, but it's still doing a ton of damage. Now I know that DPS looks low, but the total mag damage is chunky, especially for body shots. Perfect for clearing waves of chunky beefy targets. And now crit shots is where things get really interesting. 359 impact plus that additional 156 shatter damage for a total one mag damage of 10,895. Yeah, you heard that correctly. This one hand cannon is doing 10k damage, almost 11,000 damage with a DPS value of 423. This is just disgusting. Like this hand cannon damage is on some spicy energy weapon time and it melts, especially if you're hitting those headshots. Bottom line for Graviton Spike's damage, no matter what mode you're rocking, arc or stasis, Graviton Spike is pumping out some pretty serious damage. This thing doesn't just look cool, it hits hard, and with the right build, you're gonna be making rooms full of enemies disappear before the reload animation even finishes. And on top of that, you also, if you switch modes, it grants you 3 rounds back in the mag. Graviton Spike is probably one of the best weapons in the game, period, if not the best hand cannon in the game right now. Now remember earlier when I said that there was one thing that I wasn't totally feeling with Graviton Spike? So let's go ahead and talk about that really quick. So when you swap between modes, arc to stasis or vice versa, the gun does this cool little trick, like I said earlier, where it auto loads 3 rounds into the mag of the mode you're switching to. I love that. It's like the weapon's trying to help me out. Thank you, I appreciate that. But the swap animation is kind of weird sometimes, like inconsistent. I don't know if it's by design or if something's bugged, but sometimes the animation is either super snappy and clean, and other times it feels like I'm waiting for Zavala to finish giving a speech, just dragging on. Maybe it's just me, I might be tripping here, but it is noticeable. Still though, Graviton Spike is an absolute monster of a hand cannon. You're basically getting 2 elements for the price of 1, stacked stats, and a nasty catalyst selection, and it breathes some much needed life into the 150 RPM archetype. I mean, Sunshot has been running the show for a long time, and I think it's time for a new face for the 150 RPM hand cannons. So I gotta ask, what do you think? Is Graviton Spike gonna lock in a permanent spot in your rotation, or is this getting gently placed in the vault next to your old palindromes? Let me know down in the comments. I'm actually super curious to know what you guys think on this one. Let's sound off. And hey, don't forget about my channel partner, Dubby Energy. If you want to power up your game and support the channel, head over to dubby.gg and use code TREY9 at checkout for 10% off your entire order and free shipping. Thank you so much for watching, Guardians. You already know I really appreciate the support. Get subscribed, hit the like button, and as always, Guardians, catch you in the next one.